For more on this topic, I want to bring in our panel. That's Tom Borelli, Newsmax insider and contributor for America's Voice News. David Morey, DMG Global Chairman, best-selling author, and co-author of the Leadership Campaign. David, I'll start with you. I started with Tom last time. David, there is a lot to be learned from this. The investigation is still underway. Things are unclear at this point. But your thoughts on what you're seeing as far as what we hear from the president in discussing where exactly COVID-19 came from?
Well, there should be an investigation. China was very slow to reveal information about this, and there should be an investigation. I would just point out that the vast preponderance of experts and scientists believe this was not man-made, that this came from nature. There are a few outliers who disagree with that. So we need to follow the facts, Shaun, and let's remember that we can't be conclusion shopping. We learned post 9/11 that that is a very dangerous thing. Because if the intelligence community makes any mistakes, that red meat gets thrown into the political system, and right now we know what would happen there. One more point. We follow the facts. I hope that we don't lose the ability to cooperate with China, because it's a tough world to deal with global terrorism, climate change, and global pandemic if both the big superpowers are not working together in some way. Imagine all the PPE equipment we need from China. So we have to manage this issue carefully. We have to follow the facts and see where they lead us. It's meant for conspiracy theory. Final point, Wuhan has laboratories that investigate this stuff. So, it's going to we just got to follow the facts as opposed to conspiracy theories.
And again, to David's point, it is hard to get facts out of China. I believe what I checked with the New York Times recent article here is saying that, hey, we're not even allowed into that virology lab to investigate the whole thing here. Tom, there seems to be 2 points that could come out of this. One, it came from live animals. We read a lot about bats. Or number two, it was an accident that happened at this virology lab in Wuhan.
Yeah, to David's point, we really don't know what really happened. What we do know is, however, that China knew they had a virus. They knew it was being transmitted from humans to human, and they didn't alert the rest of the world. That's a fact that I think we all should be able to agree on. Now, what's important about the lab, whether or not it was genetically modified or whether it just escaped or whether it was natural, but if it would be a much higher concern if we were to determine that it was genetically modified. We're not there, and to David's point, we have to go very carefully because facts do matter. Our policies, whatever they are, have to follow the facts. We have to be wary about conspiracy theories. Unfortunately, this whole coronavirus issue has led to tons of conspiracy theories, and as a scientist, that's somewhat concerning to me. But again, we need to go back to the facts, and most importantly, kind of to David's point, we do have to trade with China, but I think what we need to do is have our antibiotics or other special equipment made here in the U.S. because we're learning we cannot rely on other countries for items and technologies that are crucial really to our survival.
And I think that point got pushed with the recent developments of COVID-19, and we realize how reliant we are on China, but yet we can't get a lot of information from them at the same time. The big question here is the relationship with Chinese President Xi Jinping. David, this could be rocked by this. If by chance, if you follow any of these investigations, you would at one point have to go to the top and say, hey, did you know?
Yeah. Look, I think President Trump has a reasonably good relationship with President Xi Jinping, considering we've been fighting a trade war with him for the last 2 years. And, we're close to and, in fact, have agreements on that front. So we're going to see where this leads. But again, I think echoing, and I'm agreeing everything with Tom said, we got to find a way to work together. Let's hope the facts don't lead us into something that we don't see right now and that there's some nefarious accident that was covered up here. Let's follow the facts and not the conspiracies.
Tom, there's also talk about an invoice being billed. We know Germany is legally suing China. We know some states here are suing China as well for potentially having this virus develop there and then taking American lives at the same time here. This is something that would be looked at if there is fault found in China.
Yeah, Shaun, great point. I think a couple of states are actually trying to sue China. Look, China somehow needs to be held accountable, and that's up to President Trump, Secretary Pompeo, and others, trade people within the government to figure out what's the best way to deal with China. They're, an international competitor globally, militarily, economically. We need to have a very sound plan to deal with them. But accountability is always important, and that's one of the most important things we really need to do is hold them accountable, as well as the World Health Organization, who really just parroted China's lies to us, saying that the virus was not transmittable between people to people. We need accountability for all.
And we'll leave it right there. Out of time. That's Tom Borelli, David Morey. We appreciate your insight on the matter. Thanks for sharing. You guys stay safe. Have a great weekend, all right?